Welcome to Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Today we have Aidan Jones.
G'day, mate.
G'day.
How are ya?
Very good, very good. How are you?
Good. And thanks for having me on your pod.
Thanks for having me in your house.
In my room.
In your room,
Yes.
in fact. Yes, the sanctuary, the comedian refuge.
What do you reckon of my room, mate?
It's pretty zen. It's a very Coburg kind of room.
Yeah, I love it. I love all my plants and shit.
And like the wooden furniture, like in Europe, I don't know, there is wooden furniture, but a lot of people just have like a rack with clothes. You can see all of their dirty laundry.
This wardrobe was $200 for the two, and it's so nice and big, and yeah, I love my room, man. As I was just saying, I'm gonna be so bummed when I move. I mean, I'm excited to move to the UK, but I ain't gonna be living like this, I know.
No, it's the thing is hold on, you're selling everything you're going over with just a suitcase.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's what I did with Berlin.
I'll probably keep like some of my records which are in here and books.
With a friend?
No, like I'll probably send that over at some point. But yeah, in terms of going over, it'll just be clothes at the start.
I got rid of everything. I gave all my vinyl to like Salvos and all my kitchenware. Like I was so domestic. Like, I was married. You know. Like,
were you?
I was married.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's savage, man.
Yeah.
Do people know that on the pod?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
Like you've told the stories, because I want to hear about that. You had a wedding. How old were you when you got married?
27.
Wow.
Like the age that
And what was that like?
It was good. I was always against marriage though. Like, the Doug Stanhope bit of, let's incorporate. This is so hot, man. Let's bring the law into this,
let's get the government involved. This shit we're doing, baby, is so good. Yeah.
And that bit, it's one of the earliest things I remember. Just like changed my whole view on things. I was like, yeah, what the fuck? And so I was always against it. But yeah, my Colombian ex-husband, he
didn't know that either.
Really?
We're the same type of cunt. Me and that guy.
Well, you're half, right?
Yeah, I'm half.
You're half. He was.
Well, I'm not culturally Colombian. I never met my dad and all of that stuff.
Well, you didn't.
Well, I met him when I was 28.
Yeah. But he wasn't a parenting figure. Yeah. Whereas this guy was like straight out of. Well, actually, he wasn't straight out of Cali, but he was like Cali, Bogota, and then he grew up he was in Boston studying, and then he moved to Australia with his wife. I broke that one up.
Wow. And then you married him, and then you left him?
And then I left him.
You left him. Why did you leave him?
He was it's just what everyone says these days, so I don't want to say it, but he was a very classic narcissist. Basically, my whole involvement in his life was to support him, and there was very little space for me. My opinions were wrong if they contradicted him. I've got a bit about it, it's a fundamental bit of mine where he was actually quite violent. He never punched or anything, but he would throw. I remember once he threw a glass at me and it just smashed on the wall behind me. He threw he broke a lot of our furniture.
Wow.
A lot, a coffee table and there was a hole in the wall and broken guitars and stuff like that.
Yeah, guitar is a satisfying thing to destroy.
Yeah, well, he was a musician, so
yeah. And Jimi Hendrix, this guy.
This fucking he was a metal, he was metal, but he had a band. He still has a band here. I think the band's broken up because music's hard, but I had to support him. I was working 2 jobs. Even when I moved to Berlin, he was I moved to Berlin to and I broke up with him, and then we got back together the week before I moved over, which is just insane. Which tells you just how fucking crazily he was like heroin to me. It was insane, a very, very crazy connection, and just got straight back duped in. And on the way, he drove me to the airport when I moved, and on the way there, he was like, "All right, babe. So when you're in Berlin, maybe you could be our manager, and you could find gigs for us in Berlin." And it's like, dude, I'm going to Berlin to find my creative.
That's
stuff.
Crazy. Yeah. He was you can help me and my band do some stuff out there. That's nuts.
That says it all.
But if he was heroin to you, you must have been so psyched when you guys got married, hey?
Yeah, I was pretty psyched. Well, we got married because he needed a visa.
Oh my god.
Because his previous visa was with his wife.
Oh my god. Fucking hell.
Yeah, so we got married so that he could stay here, and I looked at going to New Zealand with him, to Canada, to moving to different places, and I realized, no, I was supposed to do a master's, and I was like, no, I want to stay in Australia. He wants to stay in Australia. So I was like, okay, we get married because that's the easiest way for him to stay.
Wow.
And
was it a nice wedding? Did you spend a lot of money and do all that?
No. No, we went to the fucking pub. Went to a pub in Richmond, I think it was. We got married at the registry office on Punt Road, which was like a nice Indigenous art gallery, which was cool.
Nice. You're really trying to like get any little scraps of credibility you can get for this. You know, like they actually had like some really nice pictures on the wall. So it was like, I think I would have wanted that anyway when I got married.
Exactly. Oh man! And even our car broke down on the way to the reception. No, to the reception, and had to catch a train. Like push our car in and catch a train.
Oh, wow.
And then like I didn't want a big fancy thing. It was like everyone pay their own way, and I just got fucking very drunk. And the next day we had to go to Cambodia because his visa finished. Like the day after. So we got married the day before his visa ended, and then we went to Cambodia for 5 weeks till his lawyer sorted out his next visa.
Wow.
And they didn't. I had to come back alone. He had to stay there because he didn't have a visa to enter the country, and I had to like negotiate with the music union and immigration and his lawyers to get him back in the country.
Why the music union?
Because they were giving him a visa to come back. He was getting a visa as a musician.
Oh, not even as married?
Not yet, because you've got to wait to the marriage certificate.
Oh, does that take a while?
Yeah, it takes a couple of months.
Okay.
At least 6 weeks, I think.
Oh, so really you probably didn't need to get married because he got the music one.
The music one was only 2 months.
Okay.
And then I had to fucking hustle, and I organised this whole visa, which was $5,500 for 2 years.
And did you pay that money?
Yes.
What? Why did you pay for that?
Because he worked as a barista 20 hours a week, so he had time for his music.
This guy crushed you, man. He won.
He won.
This guy was killing you. He was playing the strong game.
Strong game.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Was he good in bed? Was that the whole thing? Like,
we had an open, like we fucked other people.
Yeah,
we did a lot of swinger things. It was fun. The sex stuff was fun. Was he amazing in bed? He was good.
What was it? Why were you with this guy?
He had a spell over me, man.
Really?
Like spell on me. He was an incredibly good musician. He was signed at like 16.
Okay.
His band continues on in Colombia. He sold it. Like he
sold his band.
Yeah, well, sold the name. Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
the rights.
The band continues. It's like one of those bands that continues with new members in it.
Wow.
It's called
franchise.
Legend Maker, I think.
Horrific name. Terrible name.
I think that's what it's called. I think I remember right.
So bad. The Legend Maker?
I think it was Legend Maker.
Yeah, all right.
Maybe I want to say that the name got changed, but I'm pretty sure that.
It doesn't even make sense because, like, is the band? I guess the band is the Legend Maker.
I guess.
And then the different members of the band, are they legend makers as well, or are they the legends that have been made, or like what the fuck is going on?
Are they making the people who are listening?
It's almost
to them the legends.
It's almost as if this guy speaks English as a second language.
Crazy. Yeah, so that was a very great quick summary of
of your life. And I had
getting married at 27.
I had another question, but I forgot it.
Yeah, so Colombian. So why the fuck did that come up? I guess me leaving Australia. I don't know. Oh yes. So like
because I'm leaving Australia,
packing down everything and and on the way to the airport.
Yeah.
So have you lived in the UK for a while?
Yeah, I lived in London for 2 years, 23 to 26, so 23 to 25 years old.
Okay.
2014 to 16.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I moved over with nothing. I think I was, like a lot more just ready to do that at the drop of a hat when I was younger. Mm-hmm. I moved to Melbourne when I was 21 with a bag on a bus. And lived in a hostel for 2 months. I had the bag, and like literally like $300.
Wow.
And then I moved to London with like no money as well. Got a one-way flight to Europe because my ex, who I cheated on when she moved to Australia to be with me, she was French. She moved here to be with me when I was 21, and then I cheated on her. And then...
How did you two meet?
We were traveling in Bolivia. I was a volunteer journalist for this paper when I was 20.
Okay.
And she was a volunteer through the same agency, and we went away together a bunch. Met like that, traveled around South America together, wonderful. We're both now like so young. We were 20.
That's so young.
We were born 2 days apart.
Aww.
Cute.
This is your first love?
No, I had loves before that. Like, I mean, like in high school, like
Really?
my
Love
high school.
in
No,
high
well, I
school?
wouldn't. Either all of those are or none of them are. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like
That's my
fair enough. Fair
like
enough.
like as in my high school love, and then like a girlfriend of mine who we're still friends now, and there was another girl who was like self-destructive drugs that we were just fucked together, and then there was this girl. I would say all of those are on the kind of the same level.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I didn't have love in high school, but definitely, like my first love was straight out of high school and
Yeah,
my
okay.
first relationship. Boom.
I had a period where I had lots of different girlfriends, and then after that one, when I cheated on her, and then I moved to Melbourne, had a girlfriend here for a bit, but pretty quickly was like, I can't do this. So from 21 till like 20, I mean, my first girlfriend after that was 29. But
Okay,
like,
you had a big old break there.
pretty much like self-imposed gap of like, because I hurt her so bad, man. She moved to Australia to be with me, and I cheated on her with an ex.
And so, can you want to? Do you want to
I'll
give
go into it,
details
absolutely.
around like so?
I've written a whole show about this in the past.
So she, you guys were having a long distance relationship, and you cheated on her.
So we were together in South America, and then came back to Australia. I think I left on Valentine's Day 2012.
Wow, that's
came
ominous,
back-
isn't it? You left on Valentine's Day.
I
Yeah.
came back to Australia. She went back to France. She lived just on the French side of the border near Switzerland. And yeah, we did long distance for a little. We were still talking and it was good. And we were meant to just go back to our lives, but we kept talking because, like, you know, of course.
Yeah.
And then she was like, hey, what about if I move to Australia? And I just didn't know how to say no. I was like, yeah, all right, you know, but like, that's not really what I wanted. But I was like, I guess on paper, that's the kind of thing that I would like. Are they still recording?
Yeah.
Okay,
I need to
good.
figure out the view because this.
I know, that's all good.
It's
I was
like a
just
little
worried.
comment in every recording, but it's good.
That's funny. Sorry.
Maybe I can make that the little like a competition.
It's a little,
See how quickly
yeah.
they notice.
And it's like either they're really chilled guest and they don't comment, and that's good, or they really care about the recording. You've got to figure out how to interpret that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I just know I would be so bummed if, you know.
Totally, if it wasn't
Yeah,
recording, I
I'd be
totally
furious.
agree. Yeah.
So
So you didn't know how to say no. Really.
yeah, I didn't know how to say nah. And
Yeah.
so she just was like, all right, well, I'm coming. And I was like, great. Like, you know, and she was like going to come live at my parents' place.
Whoa.
And then around the same time, this ex who, it's a whole thing, man. Like, she'd had a very rough life. This other girl from Adelaide had a very rough life, in and out of rehab and abuse, all this stuff. And when we met, before I went away, it was just like fucking, you know,
Intense.
petrol and fire.
Yeah.
But we never had sex because she was like guarded about that, and I had my own shit going on. We tried to have sex once, I couldn't get hard, and she was like, "You can't get hard, champion." Like, she fucking
Double down.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I got a whole. I'll tell you about this Viagra story in a bit, but I like got Viagra to try and sort it out, and we'll circle back to that. If
Yes,
you want.
we will. I love that.
So we never had sex, me and that girl, and I actually kind of went to Bolivia to get away from her and that because it was just such a shitstorm. Got to Bolivia, had a wonderful time with this French girl, came back to Australia, and yeah, then she's like, hey, I'm going to come, and I'm like, great. And then this other girl pops back up, and, you know, I don't want her anymore because I got a girlfriend. So, of course, she's like, oh, we're going to fuck.
Super. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we fuck like a few weeks before French girl gets to Australia, and I'm trying to keep it a secret. But I'm like, when my French girlfriend is in Australia, we go away with all of my friends. I'm texting the other girl while we're away. Like, just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Absolute nightmare. And so she goes through my phone. She finds out. It all blows up. And yeah, that was actually kind of also why I moved to Melbourne. I was just like, I fucked up everything in my life in Adelaide. I couldn't get a job. I dyed half of my hair blonde. I just had no idea what I was doing.
Oh my god, do you have photos from that?
Yeah,
time?
yeah. Yeah, man, they're fucked. I put the front part of my hair was blonde.
Oh,
I
no.
just looked fucked, and so I couldn't get work.
This was
2012.
2012.
21 years old.
Oh, wow. Good on you.
Yeah.
Well,
and so,
done.
So I moved here with no money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I moved to London, no money as well. Same thing. I wasn't running away from. Oh no, that's right. That's why I went to London because the French girl, we were still talking, even though I'd cheated on her and everything.
And she was now,
And she was out back in France.
Okay, she went
She
back.
stayed in Australia, travelled around for a bit, went back
Okay.
home, but we were still talking. And so one time, I did this weird. Do you ever do promo work?
No, I managed to avoid that.
So I did a little bit of promo work one time.
We're talking like flyering.
We're talking like the girls are there for Icebreak, you know, that iced coffee company?
Yes.
Yep. So the girls are there at the university games in the Gold Coast giving out free ice breaks and people play a big game. There's a big inflatable thing and they throw rugby balls through the holes and they get points and they win Icebreak. And I have a microphone and I'm commenting on all these uni students, like commentate. I'm like, and he's missed that one, what a loser. They paid me $1,000 and flew me up and put me up for a week in the Gold Coast to do that.
Great.
And I came back to to Melbourne, sorry, I was in Melbourne. And I was like, I've never had $1,000 before in my fucking life. So what am I going to do?
Icebreak was your big break.
And that is good. So I went to the travel fair at the expo. So at the, what's it called? The exhibition? Oh, the
travel fair, the World Expo.
Yeah, what's it called? It's not the exhibition centre. It's like the place in South Bank where they have all like
the World Trade Centre.
No,
I think it's a
not.
trade centre.
Is it?
I think
the
it is.
trade centre.
Yeah, I think
it's like they have like trade fairs and stuff.
Yeah. Where all the expos are.
Yeah. And there was a travel one, and because I'd gone to a travel agent, I was like, how do I like book flights to go to places? And they were like, you should go to this. And it happened to be the day that I got back from Gold Coast. So I think I went from the airport to that expo place and gave them $1,000 for a one-way ticket to Paris.
Oh my God. And so you went via Paris. You went,
so
but you
I
wanted
went
to go to
there.
London, but...
Yeah, and I was like, this is my way that I can go, is I'm going to go see this girl and like, you know, maybe make it all better because I feel guilty. And I booked it as far in the future as you could get. I think I booked it in October. Like it was October when I went to the place and the flights were for July the next year.
Yeah.
So it was like 10 months. That was like as far as I was just like, I'll put it, but like I don't want to do it yet. So if I do it ages in the future, I'll have time to save.
Yeah.
Didn't save a cent.
Wow.
I didn't save any. Like about 2 months before, I was like, oh, I'm going to start saving for this trip, hey?
Oh my God, Aidan, wow. We are very different.
Oh man. And then like,
crazy.
5 weeks before I left, I was working at a Greek restaurant and a cafe. I got fired from both of them in the same week. And that was like 5 weeks before I was leaving. So I had no money, and so I was just like, well, fucking, all right, I guess I'm just going like this. I just got on the plane.
Dude, oh my God, you're a fucking
But I got...
wreck.
I'm a wreck, man. I had realised that I wasn't going to be able to get over there and like have a holiday. So I was like, where can I go that I'm going to be able to work? And so I was like, the UK, they speak English. So I got the working holiday visa. That was the planning that I did. I didn't save any money, but I just got that visa that you can get.
That's crazy.
And then, showed up in London with no money.
Wow, and they were like, and back then maybe they were, but I'm pretty sure, wouldn't the UK immigration still have been like, you need to show that you can support yourself until you get a job?
Not on working holiday. Working holiday.
They did in Germany though.
Did
in Germany they had to.
Oh,
I had to
wild.
show. However, that was 4 years later. I had to prove to them that I had the means to support myself for the next 3 months. I needed to show something like $8,000 in my bank account.
Mate, if I had $8,000 in my bank account, you'd be looking at a different type of cunt right now.
I had to save up though. Like
that's crazy.
When I moved to Germany, I had to pay off all my debts with my ex-husband. We had about $12,000 in debt.
Whoa.
Paid off all of that, and then I still managed to save up about $10,000 Aussie dollars.
Good for you.
This was like, but I've always worked like at least 2 jobs, and I was teaching as well as managing a restaurant.
Right.
Like 3 nights a week, teaching like daytime and stuff, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
But
no, there was none of that for me. What jobs was I was doing those two. I used to work at Yaya's. I got fired from there.
Yeah, you fucking worked.
Yeah.
Surprised we didn't. I guess we just kind of didn't. Maybe because if you were away, that's interesting.
2014, I moved. 2012, I moved here, and then I was here for 2 years, and then left in 2014.
Actually, yeah, maybe I would have like crossed paths with you around.
What did you used to go to, like Liberty Social and like, or
Definitely like Yaya. That Yaya's was more
Yayas?
around 2010, 2011, I think, or
Okay.
2012. It came late.
I got the job in, it was the job that I got when I moved to Melbourne. So like July, August 2012, I would have started. And I got fired in like January 2013.
How many jobs have you been fired from?
14, that was my show last year.
There were definitely quite a few around, like when I first moved out of home, I worked at a couple of places around in Fitzroy and I got fired from a lot of them.
Yeah.
Until I got something that stuck. But I think I've only been fired from and same in Berlin when I first was there and like.
You got fired from a few?
I got fired from a few. I got fired from a degustation dessert restaurant. They only serve dessert and they do like degustation.
Like fucking 5 or 6.
Foam shit.
Are you saying that in a German way?
Degustation?
Yeah.
That's French.
Degustation.
Is that what you say? Degustation.
I've never heard anyone say it like that. You're fucking Euro trash now, mate. That's garbage.
Oh, my English is so garbage.
Yeah.
Now. It's so
Degustation.
If I talk about cities in Germany, I start saying them with the German accent.
Yeah.
Like I'm like that person that over pronounces
Totally
foreign words. But I've always been that. Like because I studied language, I've always been
like
that
that
wanker.
as well.
Oh,
like
you are?
it. Yeah,
Give me a word that you ever pronounce.
Oh, anything in French. Surely, if
like
like French city. Yeah, but then you're not even putting on an accent. That's not. I don't know. That's not a good French word.
What about like an English French word?
Like Marseille. Like Marseille.
Marseille.
Know?
Okay, you say Marseille.
Yeah.
Okay, Marseille. I had a French boyfriend for like a year and a half in Berlin, and I started doing the overpronouncing of the French stuff. But also, if you've got a French partner, so you've had you start like also hating how correct it needs to be. So then you start intentionally
Interesting. No, I never had that.
Okay.
I think that's just a you thing.
Yeah, such a mature approach to being corrected.
You know when they do stuff and then you resent them, so you just start trying to annoy them with the way that you speak.
Yeah, isn't that the funnest? I love
That's
that
funny.
shit.
But then my girlfriend is Irish and she keeps insisting that I have an awful Irish accent, and I'm like, I literally don't. It's so good.
Do something in Irish then.
Do something in Irish then. I don't know. I need to be talking to someone.
That's not the worst.
It's not bad.
It's not.
I think it's grand.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's good, like. It is good, though.
Oh, the like's good. Yeah.
But she's like, now, I don't know what accent you're doing there. No, Aidan, I'm Irish. I'm Irish, Aidan. What accent? What is that? Israeli.
Israeli.
She's so funny, dude.
She must be.
She is.
To handle you. No, you're lovely, but like what is she like? You don't have to talk about her, but she doesn't do comedy.
No, she's a doctor.
That's right, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
A good person.
She's a wonderful person. She's a doctor. She's very kind. She likes animals. She's super funny.
She likes animals. That's the list of.
That's like a big thing about her personality. She fucking can't get enough of that shit.
Really?
She loves an animal, mate.
Has she got animals?
No, she doesn't.
Okay,
we're getting a dog when we go to London. We're getting a
yes.
fucking injured old dog.
That's what
she wants to take care of.
Yeah. I always say I want to get an old dog so that like it's only got a few years to live, so I can't get too attached.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that is the undercurrent of logic behind our decision, but you don't put it to her like that, mate.
No. Oh, that's so great. Loves animals.
Yeah.
Have you had partners who hate animals? Is that?
No, but just I don't know. She really it's just a big part of her personality, and like I know if she's like feeling down or something, if I just go find a dog, take a picture of it and send it to her, tell her its name, she'll lose her shit, man.
Oh, that's so
cute. It's so funny, man. She was like, we had a mate over at the house, or like my housemate's friend, whatever. We're playing Catan one day.
Never actually played it, but I know the game exists.
It rules. I love it.
Yeah.
And homeboy brought his dog over. His dog's name was Jerry. And it was a very cute dog, and he was well trained. He did a little handshake. He did a spin. You can make him spin. So I filmed him doing his tricks, and he had a little red bow on. And I was sending to her, and she was like, Aidan, no, stop. Like, that's her, like, no. Oh, and she said, now, Aidan, can you ask Jerry or his dad? His dad.
She calls the owner
Can you ask him? Did he put his bow on especially for tonight, or like, you know, and I asked and he did, and she was like, he did. He wanted to impress you. Aidan, he got all dressed up. No. That's what she's like.
That's so cute.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
I've been enjoying, man, like I also would, I'd love a dog. But like as a single person in a 1-bedroom apartment, there's just no way I can get a dog without needing to have it with me at shows every night.
Yeah, that sucks. You don't want to be that comic or that.
I'm not going to be that
fucking
comic.
Nah, you can't
that
be
fucking
doing
comic. No, and they're not good environment. Like in Berlin, most bars you can smoke in. It's late nights. It's loud. It's very disruptive for the dog's oral, whatever faculties. But since I've been in Australia, I've been really in Adelaide. I stayed in a house in an Airbnb with a cat, and this cat, like the hosts of the Airbnb were like, "Wow, she really likes you," and I feel like every animal owner is always like, "Wow, they really like you." It's like, okay, stop.
Yeah. Sure.
But they were like, no. Like when we got her, we noticed that she really likes men. We were really upset because, we wanted her to be a lesbian like us. And I was like, okay. And I was like, but
There's something so weird about that.
I know, right? Yeah, there's a pussy joke in there somewhere. But,
yep.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, that checks out though, because kids also sort of see me as like a male figure, and so for the cat to like.
Do they?
Yeah, I've got a bit about how the kids that I looked after when I worked at the kindergarten would call me daddy. They call me like papa.
Right. Did you turn that into a sex? Is that a sex punchline?
There is a sex punchline.
Yeah, of course there is.
Of course there is, but it's more emotional and deeper than that actually.
Okay.
Of course, I put a little bit of sex in there. Naturally.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like for the cat to sort of gravitate towards me, who usually gravitates just to men, I was like, oh yeah, of course the cat likes men. Like that's why it likes me.
Yeah, right.
But this cat would like really get into my stuff and just like want to sit on my laundry and it was like that's really like dirty stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, really cute. And then I went on a date with a guy in Adelaide, and his dog was just we spent 2 hours in his backyard, and the dog the whole time was just bringing the ball to me. I would throw it, bring it back, bring the ball, like just ball obsessed, just but like super friendly and just wanting to hang out. And then with my mum, got the cat and the dog, and they're just.
So you're good with animals?
I'm good with animals and children, yeah, but like I can't have any of them right now.
Yeah. Nah? Oh, because of the 1-bedroom thing.
1-bedroom thing, yeah. And I had the biggest. Okay, I want to hear. Do you have plans for children with? Well, not necessarily with.
Yeah,
but like in the future.
Like in the future, I want to have kids. Yeah.
You're still 20. No,
30,
you're 30,
32.
32. That's right.
Yeah.
You're in the 20s. That's too generous.
Yeah.
But 32. Okay, so you're a man, so you've got
I
20
got
years.
heaps of time, man. That's fine.
It's fucked.
Yeah. I know, it's so brutal. Do you want to have kids?
Yeah.
Oh man, and are you dating anyone?
No, well.
You're fucked.
Look, I'm not dating anyone. No, not really. But there's 4 people that I see.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm not dating anyone.
Right, but you wouldn't have kids with any of those 4 people.
I think they're too young.
Right. You've seen some young guys. Good for you, dog. Go get it.
They come to, I keep arguing that they come to me. I'm not pursuing them.
That's
they
the daddy
come to me.
energy.
It is the daddy energy.
Daddy energy.
Yeah. But no, I had this huge conversation last night with my mum, because she's always like, I've got a bit about it, how she's always talking about my eggs. And last night she really made that bit so much more like, holy shit, this is such a thing, because she has asked me so many times if I'm going to freeze my eggs.
Whoa.
And it's like, I have looked into it because I was workshopping a bit, and there was some women in the audience who afterwards came up and were like, that was really triggering. And so I met this woman who's gone through the whole process.
Right.
And we don't know shit about what the process is. Do you know anything about what egg freezing involves?
It's temperatures, cold temperatures.
Cold temperatures, yeah. That's a part of it, for
What
sure.
is it?
And then there's eggs.
How does it work?
So in order for people to get their eggs removed, a woman has to have the same amount of hormones injected into her as she would have if she were pregnant.
Right.
Which is extreme and all in one go. It's not like the gradual build. And it means that your body thinks it's pregnant.
Right.
So you're going through all these emotions. and then you bloat and all of this stuff, and they have to do it twice to usually get a good enough harvest.
Whoa.
And then there's the actual extraction process that I haven't even
Quite
touched
invasive,
on.
I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, there's the freezing, and usually, like, in the defrosting stage, you lose some, and then whether or not they take when you get them re-put in and whatever. So, anyway, yeah. So, I had this huge fucking chat with my mum last night about, she kind of implies that I don't want it enough. She's like, oh, your comedy career is more important to you than having children. I'm like, no, bitch. Like, I'm just saying, like 4 years ago, I was like, if I get pregnant now, it's not the right time because I need to focus on comedy. But, well, let's see.
Now it would be the right time, do you reckon?
I don't think it's ever a right time.
Yeah.
But, like, my fertility window is really, closing. And so I probably, if I meet someone, it's about finding a good father. It's not about I don't want to be a single mum.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like, if I meet someone who wants to be a dad and then test them out for about a year and then be like, all right, this could be when. And I'm very upfront with people that I date. Like, my last boyfriend who was 40, he was like, I want to have a kid with you. Yes, let's do it. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
Wow. Oh, that didn't work out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good that it didn't work.
Yeah.
It's good that I saw it.
I guess that's interesting, hey? Like, at this point, you are just kind of auditioning dads.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. That must be so stressful.
Well, if you look at my lover pool, it doesn't look like I'm auditioning dads right now. It looks like I'm just adopting
You're trying
sons.
to adopt. That's funny. Do you have a joke about that?
No.
That's really funny.
Well, there's do you know Eleanor Gabrielle? I think she's got a little bit about something like that, because she was dating really young boys as well.
That's the joke. At my age, with my fertility, it feels like whenever I date someone, I'm just auditioning dads. Although when you look at the kind of guys I date, it looks more like I'm adopting sons.
Actually,
that's the joke.
That is the joke. Yeah, okay, boom. And that's exactly my situation. Yeah, like I actually said to one of my, some people really cringe when I use the term lovers, but like I said this to one of my lovers the other day. I was like,
that is.
It's cringe.
That's so lame. One of my lovers. Oh my God.
But there's love there and there's respect there, and they're not, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It feels appropriate as a word. But
it's just cringy as fuck.
It conjures up just like a strap-on dildo for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like my lovers. Just too open around sex. I don't know. I like a bit of like. I used to think I was like really, man, I fucking whatever. But I don't know. I think I'm like, it's a little bit conservative. I don't want to fucking just come and talk about. Yeah, I feel uncomfortable sometimes talking about the minutiae of sex because it's like, it's gross, man.
I feel like it's extremely personal, and there's not many people that I'll go into detail with.
Yeah.
Like, it is very private.
But there's shame around it. And that's also what's exciting about sex, is the shame.
Yeah.
You play with the shame, and if there's no shame around it, it's not really that fun.
But what if you break down the shame? What if you, what if you've because normal sex to me, there's no shame in it. So I guess I'm starting to enjoy really humiliating sex.
Yeah, because there's shame there, So you go towards the shame and you explore that. That's why I think it's like an escalating behavior with sex, is because you start with this one thing, but then you're like, well, that's what we do.
Yes.
So what if I do this? And you're scared, you're like, are they going to think I'm crazy? And they're like,
yes.
I like it. And you're like, ah! And you do that. And then you're like, oh, we just shit on each other. Like, that's just what we do now. It's not even that weird. So you're like,
I want to think that I'll never get to shitting on someone level.
Yeah. I mean, God forbid.
But pee is starting to come into conversations.
Pee's coming into it.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
And it's like, I didn't ever think that would be something. My mum was scandalized the other night when they like watching Married at First Sight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. And they talk a lot about it. But apparently one of the dudes sent a dick pic to someone in the show. And my mum was just like, anyone who sends a dick pic is just a bad person. And I'm like, well, let's break this down a little.
An unsolicited dick pic or just a dick pic generally?
And that's a different. And I'm like,
Yeah.
if it's unsolicited, that's a different thing. And I'm like, what if someone sends a whole pic? And she's like, what? And I'm like, well, females send pics as well. She's like, do they? I'm like, well, yeah. You
We got phones,
exactly. It's just one-sided.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think the dialogue around dick pics is usually in relation to unsolicited.
Mm-hmm.
But like sending pics is not a crazy thing. And she was like, oh.
How old's your mum?
30 years older than me, so she's 66.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. She's pretty open. Like, she's very open. Yeah.
But she's done fuck around with dick pics.
No.
You got to be pretty open to move to another country with your partner in your 50s.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's
definitely not like a timid person to
No.
do that.
That's a good point, yeah. Although, and it was hard for her. But yeah, anyway, lovers. Oh, yeah, that's right. That bit idea. I actually said to the 25-year-old that I see, I was like, at the start, I was like, this can only be sex because, like you're 25.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's going to be sex, but like you're also going to be a bit like, my son. And he was like, I'm okay with that. And I was like,
In
all
the
right.
sex? Really? That's crazy, man.
It's a cool conversation, huh?
You're going to be like my son. And he was like, yeah, sick. He was really excited, huh? Wow, that's crazy. Where's he from? What's his deal?
Argentina.
Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
What's his relationship with his mum like?
I don't know. I haven't asked.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
want to know that stuff? It's interesting. I mean, I wonder, like, if that stuff is connected, or are these just roles that we've been fed by society that we're, like, kind of implicitly told are exciting and so we fall into them? Because that's a pretty standard role. Like, you would think if we were really figuring shit out for ourselves, some people would be like, take other roles. Like, I want to be like your motorbike or, your fucking grandpa and you can be my cousin and we don't know each other but we meet at a family function or whatever. Like something that it's always mum and son or like dad and daughter,
Well, yeah, I guess on the mainstream porn, but like, like I've got one.
Lover.
There's one guy.
Why don't we call them like associate or consultant or something.
Consultant, colleague,
your sex colleague, a partner. No, but that's one
much.
that we already do.
Yeah, no. But like, the idea of like a, priest or, someone that you confess to or being someone's therapist or whatever, that's fun.
Yeah.
But
a client. Emotional client.
Oh no, it's getting way too into the realm of sex work, which is fine as well. But no, we actually don't play around with the mother-son thing. Like that's not something.
All right.
Yeah, no. But just like that was said. I was like, you're so young that I think you.
That was a joke. That was just your way of talking about the fact that he's a lot younger than you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so let's get back to the Viagra story though.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you want to? I was like, this would be a good story to close on.
Okay, we can close on that.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I'm just trying to remember, like, how did that get all into the eggs thing, having kids? Yeah. It is a lot of pressure. Like, my mum just didn't realize how like it's a big thing to be contemplating not being able to have that life experience that you kind of realized you wanted, and then you've kind of been looking for it, and then I'm looking down the barrel the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And then that'll be done.
Pretty much that. Are you going to get your eggs frozen? Did she offer to pay?
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
She said she'd contribute. It's cheaper in Europe. In Australia and the US, it's way more expensive. It's like 20 grand.
Yeah.
And in Germany, it's around 7 grand. And then it's about 500.
Euro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's for like 2 harvests. And
harvest is a horrific word.
I like it though. I think it really shows like that there's work involved.
Yeah. What about scrape? 2 scrapes.
That had an internal reaction.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy that. And then it's about €500 a year to store them.
Wow.
Yeah, and then apparently they only keep, like in some countries, they only keep them until you're like 46. Yeah, or younger. 40, I heard in one place. So no, I'm not going to go through it because it's very physically and emotionally.
You're not going to do it.
I'm not going to put all that emotional and physical trauma, I put my body through that, and then the financial pressure to then maybe get to the point where I don't even find someone that I want to have a child with.
Yeah.
Or I do, and then it doesn't fucking take. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
a
gonna,
hard decision, man.
It is a hard one.
I'm sorry, that's really hard.
It's like the thing is, the best time to freeze eggs is like 25.
Yeah.
So if your girlfriend is thinking, oh, I wouldn't mind being a mom at one point, and she's not sure, like the younger the better, and no one tells us that.
Yeah.
Like they can stay frozen.
Well,
fine.
I think people do tell us, but when you're in your 20s, you're like, I don't give a fuck, man.
If someone had said,
someone told you when you were 25, you reckon you
wish-
would have did it?
I think if someone had said, if you get your eggs frozen now, you will actually have quite a high chance of being able to like have them make a baby in your late 30s. But if you do it in 10 years' time, you're going to get like a third or a quarter of the eggs that you could get, and less
Wild.
likely.
I mean, my thing is always like in life, I always think I'm 5 years away from having it all figured out. So when you're 25, you're like, why would I get my eggs frozen now? Because when I'm 30, I'm going to be married anyway. You know?
Yes.
I'm going to meet the girl tomorrow.
Yes, totally.
And then we're going to start dating. We're going to have a beautiful courtship and a thing. And then, we'll get married at 29. We'll have kids at 30. It'll all be sweet.
Yeah.
And now that I'm 33, I'm like, yeah, man, like, I've got a girlfriend and hopefully things go good and down the line, whatever. And in 5 years, we'll be all sweet. Like that's still, I think that, even though I have all this evidence to show that I've always thought that and it didn't work out, the fantasy is so persistent. So
That's an interesting. So I think my baseline outlook is that this is like that I'm at the end, and I don't have a lot of time left.
Right.
And then I was looking at my brother's children the other day, and then thinking about like my parents and their nephews and nieces, and the idea that my brother's children will one day be 18 and maybe overstaying their welcome at my house in Germany and like just what is it like leeching off me. And I've got that much more life ahead of me. That like 18 years from now, that could be the dynamic that
you'll
I'm living
still be
through.
living, right? But as a woman, I guess the idea or the discourse is like your life is from 18 to 38 or whatever. Yeah. So you
made it gender political, but you're absolutely
well,
fucking
no,
right.
it is. It's about being a woman because like I don't have that pressure and I can totally see it totally comes from people's value as a woman coming from your ability to raise children.
/ be attractive according to
Yeah.
Yeah, like and I am looking at my lifestyle right now. I'm like, in 10 years' time, am I going to be attractive enough to have 4 sex colleagues?
I reckon you'll be fine, mate. Guys are pretty cooked,
They really are. Oh shit. Yeah, that's nice that you said that though, because
actually even just the way that I've said that is still not quite. That's guys are cooked. It's like, what is it cooked to like a 46-year-old woman? Is that fucked?
Well, yeah.
Here we see my inherent biases.
Well, I was just like, men are.
Yeah.
I'll take they're not that discerning. I just have to drop my standards a little bit, and I'll definitely have 4 sex colleagues at the age of 46.
Yeah, you don't even need to drop your physical standards, but you might just need to have be sleeping with a guy who's just a bit more dumb.
Yeah. I haven't really explored the whole less intelligent demographic.
Yeah. That's not my kink.
Not yet, but I can work that.
Yeah.
That'll open up the market for me. Yeah, fuck. Okay. And so you see yourself as having another sort of you don't even, it doesn't even come into your consideration.
It does because I don't want to get into too personal about my girlfriend because it's her choices, but she's 29, so we've got a bit of time if that's the road that we want to go down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Age is always a consideration.
Okay, that's but 29's young.
Yeah.
But that said, 35. Once you're 35 and above, any pregnancy that you have is termed geriatric.
Really?
By hospitals.
Geriatric pregnancy.
Yeah.
And she would know all about that being a doctor.
She would.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
Yeah.
And it's hold on, given that most women are having children much later, why don't they change the terminology around that?
I guess the body didn't change though.
The body hasn't changed, but it's like if most women having children after 35, don't call it geriatric. Just be like,
right.
Pregnancies are now more high risk. Boom.
Maybe there's but it's probably a medical term, right? It's probably like, what does geriatric even mean? We think it means old, but it probably comes from, what's the etymology
of geriatric?
Let's
I think it is just
find
Jerry
out.
is old. Over
Geriatric etymology.
It probably means like
Geros. I reckon it's Greek.
It's Greek for sure.
It's got to be Greek.
It's got to be.
Come on, Google.
Come on, Google. Tell
Origin,
us.
geras, old age, and iatros, doctor. Geriatric,
Old
1920s. So it means old age and doctor. So like old age.
Medically old age.
A doctor of old age, a geriatric.
Okay.
Like the medical, yeah.
So that'll be, that'll be your girlfriend when she gets pregnant at 35.
Yeah. She
will actually be.
She'll be some geriatric.
Oh, she'll be a double geriatric.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of old age, do you want to do this fucking Viagra story?
I have never. So my very first first. I organised a show where I could do my first half hour in Berlin, or maybe it was my own half hour, and headlined it. And in the donation bucket, it was good takings, but also got the Viagra pill given to me.
Nice.
I still haven't. Probably it's no good by now, but
I don't know.
I reckon it would probably.
How do they work? Do they go bad? Who fucking knows?
I don't think drugs go bad.
They're not like tomatoes.
They're
not. They're just fucking. I don't know. They last forever.
But yes, I really would like to fuck someone using Viagra.
Yeah, you should just run it. You should just pitch it to one of your
25-year-olds, because their hearts are probably still good.
Co-conspirators.
I just said 25-year-olds. Yeah, co-conspirators. That's a good one. So tell us what. So this was the French?
This the
Crazy
girl
bitch.
that was
Sorry.
I hesitate to call her crazy, but let's call her troubled at the time.
Sorry, that was very insensitive.
No, you can call her whatever you want, mate, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay, good.
we're still friends. She's cool. I mean, she's figuring her stuff out. But
wild bird. Right.
Yeah, man. Well, just that she was. No, she I think would admit that at the time she had a lot of different stuff going on and wasn't in a good place. And so yeah, we tried to have sex, and we were never even officially boyfriend and girlfriend. But when I couldn't get hard because I was so scared. I just was like crazy about her, and I was like, oh, I need it to be perfect, and then it wasn't. What was the joke I used to have on stage? I was like, I couldn't get hard, and she was like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? And even after that, I couldn't get hard. Crazy. Which is extra weird because now I love it. You gotta call me a loser.
You fucking
just so
loser.
I can. That was the joke I used to do. That's right. But
I do feel a lot of sympathy for men in that situation because there is so much.
Oh, there's so much pressure,
So
man.
much pressure.
Yeah, it sucks. And I was like a little, like a wounded foal, And I went to the doctor. I would have been 19 or 20. And I remember being like, I called her my girlfriend to the doctor, and like she wasn't, but I was just like, I don't know, man. I was like, me and my girlfriend, yeah, like we can't have sex, like I couldn't get hard, and it's just
It's
not
just
working.
one time.
One time.
And you went to the doctor.
Oh, I was crazy about it. I was I was all fucked up, man. We would like say I love you over the phone, but then every time I tried to see her, she was like, oh, I can't, I'm busy. Very like avoidant stuff, But we would talk all the time, and it was a nightmare. So I went to the doctor, and I'm like, hey, whatever. And he was like, all right, mate, like, have some Viagra. Like, I think he was just like, oh, buddy. But he explained to me the way the nervous system works and the way the fight or flight response. So if you're feeling anxious about something, your body thinks you're going to have to like run away or fight. Fuck, I'm remembering all these bits that I used to do in that show. But yeah, so all your blood goes to those parts of your body and it takes it away from your dick. And if you're relaxed, the blood can go to your dick and so you can have a boner. So what Viagra does, I guess, is something about like makes your blood flow more. It's like a blood pressure thing.
Yep.
So you have a boner.
Yeah.
So he explained that to me and then he gave me the Viagra and then I just had it. But me and that girl, we never were in a situation again where we were going to fuck. So I just had this Viagra in my wallet. And there was another, because there's...
Did he tell you when you should take it? Like, is it like an hour before?
Oh, just
or is
before.
it like
I think just before.
Just before?
I
Okay.
think. I can't remember, but I reckon you can take it like pretty soon before. And I think he even said like, man, you're 19, like you shouldn't be having this problem. So I reckon it's probably just like, you know, up here. Yeah.
Of course.
And I think he knew I just needed a fucking hug, you know.
Oh, Aidan.
So he gives me these pills and he's like, go on, you little scamp. Get out there and fuck someone. And I go out into the world armed with this fucking bazooka, you know. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's like bringing a rocket launcher to a knife fight, you know? Like, it's just not the right problem. But there was a few months later, there was my best mate's girlfriend's best friend. You know that arrangement? When it's like they're dating, so like you look across the table and you're like, well, we're probably going to hook up, hey?
Yeah.
And we always had a thing for ages off and on, but we never slept together. And then one night, a bunch of us were around at her parents' place and everyone had kind of peeled off and gone to bed. And so it was just me and her. I remember like I put Bob Marley on the like sound system and we were making out on the couch and she was like, hey, do you want to come into my parents' room? They were away. And I was like, done, man, we are on. And I'm like, wah, all systems go. This is it. This is not a drill. And I'm like, I'm feeling in my wallet and I'm like, I got the pill, like there it is. We're all good. I could feel it like through my wallet where I was keeping it. So she's in the bed and I go into the ensuite bathroom and I get the pill out and here's where I'm like, what is wrong with you? I was like, it'd be cool if I like racked it up, hey. Because I was like, just always doing shit for like the audience in my mind, you know? Like it was before I ever did stand-up, but I was just like always trying to do the cool thing. And I was like, that's what a cool person would do, would be to crush this Viagra up and do a line of it off the bathroom sink in her parents' ensuite. So I'm in there and they've got like skin on it. Like it's a medical pill, like it's a pharmaceutical. It's not a fucking, you know, white striker that was pressed in someone's basement by bikies. It's a proper drug that you buy from a pharmacy. Yes. So it's got this blue skin on it. So I'm trying to crush it up and it's not crushing. So I'm like, bang, 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 like in the bathroom, like, do. She's in the next room probably going like, what the fuck is this? And I can't crush it. So it just split into like a few bits. And I'm like, that's not going in my nose. So I'm like, lick my hand and just off the thing. I was in there for like 5 minutes. Probably did a piss, whatever. Like, get back out there. She's asleep. She's fallen asleep in the bed. And now I'm like, no, like, please, God. And I like also wanted to hook up with her for ages. So, and I'm like, hello. And she's like, I'm like, it's not happening. So I just lay in the bed for like 2-3 hours, couldn't get to sleep by myself with just a boner staring at the roof.
So it worked.
And it worked. And like to this day, that was like 11, 12 years ago or something. And to this day, I mean, me and her never fucked. 5 years or so later, I told her the story and she was just laughed and was like, it's still not happening.
You fucking blew it.
You blew it, brother.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
Yeah, super funny.
You must have been more than 5 minutes. Come on, 5 minutes.
I reckon I was pretty quick because it was the end of the night. I think she just was like tired and, you know, drunk. Like we'd all been drinking and stuff. And I thought I'd had a pill and she hadn't. Or I'd had like half a pill or something. Okay, so I was still pretty live.
More energy.
Yeah. But I think as soon as she hit the bed, she was just out.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I know. It's devastating stuff, man.
Oh, that really sucks.
Yeah. And I guess I was just also ashamed. Like, that's the thing around sex when you're young is like, because I could have just, like, if I were in that situation now, I would go in the bed, we'd start making out, I'd see where it's going, and then I'm like, hey, I have a Viagra, I'm probably going to take it, like, if that's all good, if we're going to do this, and then see what she says, and then just be like, look at that, and, you know, I'm going to take it, like, make a joke out of it, you know? Whereas at the time I was so ashamed of the fact that I thought I needed Viagra. So I was like, I
Yeah.
need to go and do this by myself.
Yeah.
And like, I think the reason I wrapped it up was I was like, I want this to work. So like, I'm going to put it like faster.
Mainstream.
Yeah.
Mainline it.
Just everything. Yeah. It's all around shame.
It is. That said, like, I think the shame of it is definitely why I haven't suggested it to any of the guys.
Yeah, right.
Because
the Viagra
do you know what I
thing.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'd really like to see what it
interesting.
does. Be like, without, not like with,
You
and
should
have
do
that
that.
comparison.
You should just be like, hey man, I don't know, let's get this motor going for like hours. Let's see what happens. They'd fucking do it. I'm sure they'd do it. Dude.
But it would. What stopped me is that it would sound like a criticism of their normal state,
I reckon.
or a vote of like.
I reckon if they
non-confidence.
can't deal, surely they're fine. Just be like, look man, the sex is sick, whatever, but like, let's step it up.
But then I think, for me, I just go into their heads where then they'd be like, oh, well, does she always want me to take it?
Right.
Has she not been satisfied? How much? Like, I think it would fuck with them.
Just have a conversation. Here's me giving, why am I don't know shit. I'm sorry.
But also, it's like, this is only like 5 years old,
Yeah.
I think it's actually like past the point where, and also there was no use by on it anyway. So like, I don't want to be giving them drugs. Like, they're not gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right, okay.
You know? But if a dude was like, hey, I like a friend gave me Viagra, then I'd be like, let's do it.
I hate to sound like your mum here, Anna, but maybe you just don't care enough about taking Viagra. Sounds like you care more about your comedy career than fucking a young man with a hard dick.
No, you don't understand how much I care about fucking young men. Hard dicks. I care so much, so hard. I care so hard. Oh man, mums, huh? Yeah. So yeah, maybe it is on my bucket list. I haven't knowingly fucked someone on Viagra.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
It's on the bucket list.
I think, I don't know, the female, like, do you know any woman that's tried Viagra?
Nah, I don't know anything about that.
Because I feel like...
I don't know any women at all, actually. Heard of them.
Just geriatrics, apparently. But I don't know. I think the only way I could convince them would be like, I take half, you take half.
Yeah. So that it's like you're not trying to like poison them somehow. Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. And I don't know. I don't think it works the same at all. But it'd be interesting. Like, I'll try all drugs once.
Yeah. Why not? See what happens.
Why not? Right? Yeah. Let me see. Like, maybe we can wrap it up in a bit. Yeah, we're pretty much at 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Are there any? Is there any topic that you wanted to touch on before we wrap up? I'm just trying to think.
Well, I've got a Berlin story if you want.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I probably told you this story before, but when I was in Berlin in 2019, I stayed in a hostel, and the people who were in the hostel, there was like an Australian dude. Where were they from? It's an Australian dude, Australian girl, Dutch guy and girl. We all just kind of hung out. I did a show in the hostel, and so I met some of the people. And actually, the guy who I met, we're now really good friends. He lives in Sydney. Lovely dude.
Which hostel was it? Do you remember?
Fuck, I couldn't.
Wasn't
Alexander Hostel, maybe?
Alexander, okay. Because there used to be a comedy show. There's been a few hostel ones. But
Yeah, no, it was just I
just
just
your one,
put a
okay.
show on in the common area of the hostel.
fuck
and I was
yeah.
like, hey, everyone. This is before I had any idea about like how to promote a show or like that you can actually get people to buy tickets and shit. I was just like, just let me do it. But I met these.
Quiet now.
I think I did one in another place in Friedrichshain for a free room for a night or like a 20% discount on the room. Do you know what I mean? Like just yeah, bizarre. But so yeah, I met these people and they were going to Kit Kat. And I was like, all right, let me go to Kit Kat, what's the vibe? And they were like, it's like a kink party tonight. So you got to wear, so you got to wear kink shit. So I was like, all right, well, I don't have any kink stuff, so maybe I'll send you this photo for the like notes or whatever if you want for the show notes. I had like sport shorts with like a inner lining, like a skins lining. Turned them inside out. I don't know what I thought that was going to do. And then I cut the ends off of some of my socks so they were like, that emo horizontal stripe. And I put them over my arms, like elbows and shit. And then I had some red like, you know, the kind of thing that you would put on a bow on a present, like
Yes.
that red velvety,
Like a ribbon.
Ribbon, thank you is the word. Who's living in Europe right now?
Yeah.
I tied that around my like naked torso and neck, and I was like,
So ribbon, shorts, and like sock arms.
sock arms, and I was like,
Hot.
that's pretty kink, right? I'm a little present. I'm like a little gift. I can feel myself getting embarrassed talking about it. That I thought I was going to get into a fucking kink party just with like some shit that I bought at a $2 shop. But you know, they had all their outfits, and some of them, you know, the Dutch couple, they weren't a couple, they were friends, but I think the guy was trying to get with this girl, but they knew each other from school. They were very young, but the girl had got in with the photographer at the place. So they got in, and she was wearing a bodysuit and he was wearing something, I can't remember. And then some of us, and there was this American guy who was so annoying. He was doing a vlog, and he kept being like, getting his camera out and being like, hey guys, all right, so we're just going in. It was the worst. It was a fucking nightmare.
And in Berlin, that's just so like,
it's so
repulsive
toy,
as well.
hey.
Like people don't.
It's not the
handle
vibe
that.
at all in Berlin.
Like I'm so out of practice, even like taking a selfie or
Yeah,
do anything
right.
like that, because in Berlin it's just like you're not allowed any cameras inside clubs.
Yeah.
You know, like you've got to sticky, you know, the lenses, like cover
Of
them
your
with stickers
camera shot. Yeah,
of your
that'd be
cameras.
fine.
Yeah, like you have to have stickers on both sides. And if you're out at a bar and people are taking photos, like it's just all the locals are just like, ugh, how naff.
Yeah, right.
Like be present.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy was all over that, and he was just the worst, man. Like, I don't know, he was really annoying. Filming his trip, and he was like, oh, that's right, and we were in the line, and he was going like, he was just talking about like, man, I can't wait to see all these fucking chicks in this place, you know, like he was just being really gross
so that
about
one
it
as well.
Yeah, I can't even remember exactly.
So did
what
he
said,
get in?
No, none of us got in. That's
Okay.
the point of the story. Is we lined up for an hour and a half at night on like a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I had no shirt. I didn't bring a shirt because I was like, I'm all in, you know?
Hilarious.
I was like, I'm getting in. There's no way I'm not getting in.
Like if they see that I don't have a jumper
Yeah,
with
yeah,
me,
yeah.
then they've got to let me in.
Yeah. So I was just like, this is what's up. And then we got to the front of the line, and he just was like, straight away was like, no. And I was like, fuck, like, I guess that's that, hey? Like...
Oh my god! Yeah, thank God you didn't then go from there. Maybe you could get into Berghain after that.
We didn't try and go to Berghain, but there was a Späti next to Kit Kat, and there's a club in the back of that you go through the ice, like you through the fridge and into this club. And we pulled some girls from another line of some other club, and we're like, hey, do you want to come to this joint with us, and we'll pay for you guys to get in?
Yeah.
Because like the guy was like, you don't have enough girls. So we have one girl and like 3 or 4 guys, I can't remember. So we pulled these 3 girls out of this other line and got in. And at the Späti, I was like, I don't have a shirt now. Like, I just felt, that's right. We met some fucking guy after we got like, no, there was a local guy, and he was like making fun of me. He was like, man, you fucking look like shit. And he didn't even bring a shirt. What is wrong with you? You thought you were going to get in? You're an idiot. And I was like, man, like, please, I feel so exposed right now. And he was like, don't worry, dude, you can have my jumper. And he was like, took his jacket off and he gave it to me. And I was like, oh man, like, thank you so much. And then he was like, you know what? I actually got to bounce. Give me my jacket back. And he just left. I was like, no.
You had a moment. You had a moment where you felt there's a shame.
And so I went to the Späti, and they were selling shirts. And actually, I will show you the shirt that I got.
You got a shirt at the Späti?
I got a shirt at the Späti, and it's so perfect. Oh, it's sick that we're in my room right now. If you can see it.
What does it say? It says Art Hotel Connection Berlin.
It's a man sucking another man's dick.
Fuck, that's an amazing t-shirt you got from a Späti.
Yeah.
Holy shit, yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's amazing.
And I wore
dude.
that, and then this is my like that story. I'll never part with this t-shirt. I love it.
Ah, it's fucking great.
The
first time I got into Berghain, I bought it. They have t-shirts in there.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Like I want to know that like I
went to
fucking got in
Berghain.
there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But so that was that night, and then we went into that other club and
I don't know about that other club.
hung out for a bit. But I just kind of, that was just after I quit drinking as well. So I was like,
Oh shit, yeah.
I drank, what are those things called again? The caffeine drink in the bottle?
Club Martin.
No. Oh, Club Mate. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drank like 4 of those.
Yeah, buzzing. Yeah, clubbing without alcohol. I've gotten used to it now.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
all
it.
right.
Yeah. Well, if
do
you've got
it.
other drugs, it's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you just don't get as loose.
I'm getting better at like just dancing and enjoying the dance, and then after a
Yes.
while you're like, I'm tired, I'm going home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love the natural, like being able to listen to your body clock and be
Yeah.
like, oh wow, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ready to go.
I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it. Okay, it's still a
It's
mission. Yeah, no, I really enjoy sober partying now.
Yeah.
Well, sober, okay.
Yeah.
No alcohol. Fuck yeah. And now we're going to record your podcast.
We are, mate. We're
Fuck
going to
yeah.
do my podcast about being sober.
Yes.
We're going to jump onto that. So if you like this, listener Still Not Drunk, which will be out at the end of May. It's not dropping yet. I'm doing a bunch of pre-records. So like, yeah.
Nice. So you can,
But yeah, end of May, Still Not Drunk.
fuck yeah.
And visit me on my website, aidanjonescomedy.com.
Fuck
I've got
yeah.
a special online. I might at some point release my documentary about the Edinburgh Fringe coming back.
Which I really enjoyed watching the
Thanks,
other day.
mate.
Yeah, had a screening at Acme and felt like I was seeing, I felt like I was in my community. It was like, knowing all these people and just, so nice.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, thank you for that. And thank you for this, and let's wrap it up.
Not at all, man. Thanks for having me.
Fuck yeah, thank you. This has been Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Thank you so much and goodbye.
You.